Kelly, and this is Kelly Hill Yoga. Welcome back. Today we have an amazing practice that we're going to rock out together, and we're just going to keep it really simple, yummy, find some movement in our body, and breathe deeply and with some purpose today. So when you're ready, grab your mat and let's get started. And we'll start today in child's pose. So we'll start any little way you want. You can take your body any variation you want. You can take the knees nice and wide. You can have the arms reaching out front. If you want to have this a little bit more active, you can really reach those fingertips away from the shoulders. Or if you want to settle in a little bit deeper here and kind of just let your body really submit to gravity here, you can have the hands reach back towards the toes here. So whatever you choose here, and you might even want to grab a block if you have one handy, have it underneath the forehead if that forehead doesn't quite make it there. But just starting today in child's pose, not overthinking anything, not trying to be a certain way today, and just coming into our bodies here. And we'll start with 3 really wonderful, purposeful breaths here. Breathing in through the nose, all the way down to the tip of the tailbone, and then exhale, letting go. 2 more times. Inhale, breathing in through the nose. Exhale, let go. Last one, breathing in. Perhaps hold it for a pause at the top, and then let go. And then as that exhale kind of floats and fades away, soften into this pose today, soften onto your mat, letting go of any distractions that might be happening, letting those two fade off in the distance. We're coming into this practice today. We don't have any expectations. We're simply just going to move and be and breathe with our simple organic breath here. And if you're looking somewhere to visually take the breath, you can imagine you're breathing into the back of the lungs here, opening across the back of the body, and then exhale. And as you do so, that chest gets really heavy towards the earth. And if you did have those hands reaching back towards the toes, now let's slide them out in front of us here, nice and long, reaching the fingertips away from the shoulders, elongate that spine, and then walk the hands over towards the left. You can even take that right palm and place it on top of the left. Breathe into the right lung, taking that breath into that right side body. Slowly come back to center here. Big, beautiful breath in, elongate that spine, let everything reset. And then walk the hands over towards the right here. That left hand can come on top of the right, whatever feels good. Breathe into that left lung. Walk those hands back to center. Now take them about shoulder width apart here. And then we're slowly going to pull ourselves up, or pull yourself up here to tabletop. Come into cow pose, let that belly get soft, tailbone reaches up towards the sky, gaze just in front of you here. Hold for a breath or two, we're not rushing through this today. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, tuck the chin and round through the spine. Come into a cat pose. Just like you would think, a big rounding cat stretching out here. As we inhale, we'll slide back to that cow. Exhale to round through back to that cat. And start to repeat this for a couple of rounds now, just maintaining this tabletop where we kind of walk that spine up towards the sky and then down towards the mat as we warm up. And then we're going to take the knees, or take your knees nice and wide here. Hands stay just where they are. Inhale to come into cow. Exhale to round through to your cat pose and shift almost back to child's pose. Inhale to slide forward, staying nice and low to your mat. Rise up to that cow. Exhale to tuck the chin, round through the spine, almost back to your child's pose. Inhale, pull yourself along. Slide up to that cow. Exhale to round through. And you're starting to do this big wave-like movement with the spine here. As we lift up, exhale to round through. So you're transitioning between these two poses here. Sliding up to cow, rounding through to that child's pose. And let's add a layer here. As we go through this a couple of times, get your hips nice and loose through that forward and back movement. Now we're going to add a layer here. And let's start to really circle the hips, maybe sway side to side as you kind of slide back. Coming forward, walk your hands a little bit in front of your shoulders, even drop the hips down, coming into a variation on up dog. Exhale to round through. Really waking up that big joint. Biggest joint in your body is your hip joint here. So waking it up. Coming forward, lowering those hips down, rounding through, coming back. One more time. Whatever feels good. And your body here, swaying, swishing. You can even circle and swish those hips a little bit side to side, forward, back. And then walk yourself back to your tabletop here. Our hands end up back under our shoulders. Our knees are back under our hips here. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, tuck the toes and let the knees hover up off your mat for a moment, strengthening our belly, firing up that midsection just for a moment. Breathe through it. Strong. That belly is pulled inward. Stay for that inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the knees down. Untuck the toes, soften the belly, come into your cow again. One more time. Big breath in. Exhale, tighten that belly to the spine. Lift the knees, tuck the toes, hover the knees. Holding here, 3 breaths. You can do anything for 3 breaths. Palms are firmly planted. Last inhale. Exhale to slowly lower those knees down. Untuck the toes, soften the belly into that cow. Setting up. Come back to that neutral spine. Tuck the toes, slide the hips up and back, downward dog. First one of the practice here. Walk it out a little, sway from side to side if that feels good. A little bit of movement and thinking we're in this perfect linear point A to point B. No, this is your practice. Whatever you need, whatever little journey and transition from one pose to the other, take it. You want to take a break. You're not even thinking about rocking out this downward dog. You want to come back to child's pose, go for it. And then take a nice big inhale here. Reach those hips up and back. Bend the knees if you need. That heart softens towards the top of the thighs. Hold here for a moment. Really saying our hellos. Welcoming this downward dog into our practice here. And then next breath in. Pull yourself forward. Slide forward to a nice plank pose. You can come down onto the knees if you need to modify. Modify doesn't mean any less though. Finding your practice here. Big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, slide the hips up and back to downward dog. Start to repeat that. Pull yourself forward to plank. Lengthen out that spine. Exhale, slide back to downward dog. Just like we did with that child's pose to tabletop here, going through a few rounds. But we're being nice and slow in this transition here, not rushing to one pose or the other here, so we can really wake up our body here. Let's do 2 more. Come forward to that plank. Bend the knees, slide back to downward dog. Last one. Forward to that plank. Bend the knees. Slide back to that downward dog. Wonderful. All right, come back to that plank one more time. Holding here for a breath. Press the mat away from you. Bend the elbows, slowly lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale, rise to cobra. Lift that head and chest. Exhale, lower down 2 more times. Inhale, rise to cobra. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Reach that head and chest. Exhale, lower down. Press our way up and back to tabletop. Walk the knees underneath the hips, hands back underneath the shoulders. Take your right hand, reach it up towards the sky so we open up in this right side body. Exhale, thread that right hand underneath the left. Coming into that right shoulder, onto the outside of that right shoulder, onto the side of the head here. Hang out for a breath or two. The body knows what to do here, so letting it slow down on its own. Breathing through it. Take that left hand, repress into your mat, come out of it just how you came in, reach that right arm up. Exhale, right hand comes down. Switching sides, left arm reaches up, open up to that left side. Exhale, thread that left hand underneath. Come onto that left shoulder, maybe the side of that left head. Letting the weight of your upper body really do the work for you here. The only thing you need to do is breathe. Right hand presses into the mat, re-emerge. Just how you came in. Reach up. Left hand comes down. Underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, slide back to downward dog again. Getting that heart rate up a little bit here. Inhale, breathe in, reach that right leg up. Three-legged dog. Exhale, step that right foot between the hands with some control. End up in our runner's lunge here. Right foot is forward, left foot is back. Slowly lower that back knee. Untuck or tuck the toes, whatever provides stability in that knee joint here. And then we're going to let your hips slowly melt down towards the mat here. And wherever you want the hands to be, you can have both on the inside of this right foot if you want, or outside where that foot is between the hands here. Let those hips, that belly soften a little bit more. And then take your right shoulder, rotate over towards the right here, so towards this bent leg, coming into a twist here, letting those hips remain low. You can even reach back towards that back foot, grab onto it. If that's in your practice today, if you're feeling like rocking out this little bit of extra oomph here, you can. No way is the right way though. So don't feel like you have to make it back towards that foot. You can have that right or that left foot just hanging out on your mat, letting that hand stay on that right thigh or coming to the low back. Whatever feels good here. Slowly rotate back to center here, back to our neutral low lunge. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Transition by shifting your weight forward, lifting that back leg into our standing split here. Hands are down on the mat supporting you. Chest and heart are melting towards that right thigh here. And that left foot isn't just hanging there. You have some lift and length through the bottom of that left foot. Stay for one more breath. Then gently step that left foot to meet the right. We'll end up in a forward fold. Upper body, everything from the top of your hips up, melting down towards the mat here. Take a big bend in the knees. Sway from side to side if that feels yummy. Grab onto your elbows. Provide that little bit of comfort as we let all this yumminess happen within our bodies, where that heart boosts that circulation a little bit here. Energy levels start to rise. Release the elbows if you were holding on. Big breath in, slide yourself up halfway, nice long spine. Exhale, fold and melt forward. Inhale, rise to stand, lead with that head and heart. Reverse swan dive, come up, reach. Exhale, hands down to that heart space. Take a moment here. Just a little bit of time for that adjustment of our body to be aware of us standing here, taking a moment. Reach the arms back up towards the sky here. And as the arms reach up, the feet are reaching, planted into your mat here. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms up towards the sky. Big breath in. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, fold forward, melting down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step back to plank. Knees on the mat if you'd like. Press that mat away. Fire up the belly. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Keep those elbows in. Inhale, rise to cobra. Rocking out 3 little cobras again. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower, and make your way to downward dog. Pressing up and back, however you need to make that transition. Take your time. Take 50 movements. Slide your way. There is no point A to point B that is perfect in this journey here. Big breath in. Exhale, let go to plant ourselves in this new posture. Inhale, left leg comes up now, 3-legged dog. Exhale, gently step between the hands. Help that foot out if you need. Runner's lunge. Slowly lower that back knee, toes tucked or untucked. And then letting your hips melt towards the earth here. Really coming into this pose. Heart rate might be up again. That's okay. Breathing into it. Softening into the pose, softening your belly, softening your hips here. Gently rotate towards the left now, coming into a little bit of a twist in this low lunge here. Stay here if this is enough. That left hand can stay on that left thigh. Finding your twist variation on this other side. Grabbing that back foot if you're feeling like rocking that out today. Slowing the mind, using the breath to pull you back in without all that judgment. Thinking you're supposed to be doing a certain thing or looking a certain way. Then just be. Gently rotate back towards that neutral low lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. Slide and lift up into that standing split here. Right leg is lifted. Heart and chest are melted towards the top of that left thigh here. Use blocks if you have them handy. Hands are gently supported. You can be up on the fingertips here. Stay for one more breath. Slowly lower that right foot to meet the left. End up back in that forward fold. Sway side to side. We're not in any hurry to come out of this. Shake that head a little bit too. If that tension started to play back into your neck here. Inhale, slide yourself up halfway, lengthen out that spine, sit bones reach behind you. Exhale to fold back down. Inhale, root to rise, press into the feet, come up to stand. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, hands to our heart. Slowing down. Do a little body scan if that mind started to wander. You started to think about that grocery list or to-do list. Or are we done yet? Looking at that timestamp on the video. It's okay. Find something here that is grounding you in this moment. Maybe it's telling yourself inhale and exhale. Maybe it's a little body scan. Wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Pull yourself back into this space. Reach the arms back up as the feet press into the mat. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms up towards the sky. Exhale to the left, little side bend. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, fold forward. Melting down. Inhale, slide yourself up halfway. Exhale, fold. Melting down. Plant the hands. Step back to plank here. Press the mat away. Firing up the belly. Slowly lower down to the mats. Inhale, 3 cobras again. Exhale, fold. We're melting back down. Inhale, rise to cobra. And lower. One more. Rising up and lowering. Press your way up and back to downward dog. Find that big, fun transition coming from the belly on the mat all the way up into this inversion here. Get ready to head downstream here. So taking all this wonderful energy we created, saying our goodbyes to this down dog. No matter how it felt in our bodies today, appreciating the power of this pose, the ability of what our bodies can do. And then walk your hands and feet into a forward fold at the center of your mat here. Kick the toes out just a little bit and slide those hips down into your yogi squat here. Hold here for a moment. Elbows can come into the inside of the thighs. And I say this quite often, especially in this pose. There is no reason why you should look the same in a pose as, say, for me on the screen right now, or maybe the person practicing next to you if you're with a loved one or a friend. You don't look in the mirror. You don't look the same way in the mirror, so there's no reason why you should look the same way in a pose here. So find what feels good. Find your pose. Find your practice. One more breath. And then gently make your way to seated here. Swing the legs out in front of you. Nice and long. Bending the knees just a little bit. Reach the arms up as the sit bones reach down. Exhale to fold forward here. Chin melts towards your sternum. Elongate that cervical spine here. Slowly come back up to seated. Soles of the feet come down to your mat, and we'll make our way onto your back on your mat here. Setting up for one last powerful strength pose here. Feet are hip width apart. And let's take just one moment here and let's soften our belly and push it up towards the sky here, where you make that big beer belly here. And then gently pulling that belly button towards the spine here. And notice what happens in that pelvis. It levels out and your low back becomes really supported here. So staying here with that belly pulled in, then press into the feet here and rise up to our bridge pose. Find a bind if that feels good, interlacing those hands underneath that sacrum. Or palms can be face down or a little bit. If you want more of an opening, have those hands reach up overhead here. And see if you can rack out 5 breaths. You don't have to, just make it a goal here. Just finding that breath, letting it be your anchor. Strong, powerful, yet ease throughout the body here. One more breath in, a little bit more height in the hips. And then slowly make your way back down, lowering those hips. Hug the knees into the chest, Apanasana. You get to give yourself a hug. Sway side to side. Linger as long or as little as you want in this pose here. And then we'll take the feet back down to our mat here, almost as wide as your mats. Gently reach the arms out to the side here. Think a big T, and then let those knees swipe over to the right here. Little baby twist. Come back up to center. Gently let those knees lower over to that other side here. Back up to center. One more last little hug. Apanasana again. And let's see if we can make ourselves teeny, teeny, tiny. Bring that forehead towards those knees. Trying to make yourself as tiny as possible here. Activate anything and everything. Tight, 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 tight. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. And exhale, release. Extend those arms out. Extend the arms out if that feels good. Come into our final pose, our Shavasana here, as we soften into this last beautiful bit of our practice here today. Playing around with that breath again, breathing in through the nose. Exhale, letting go. 2 more, breathing in. Exhale, letting go. 1 more time, breathing in. Retain it at the top for a pause if you'd like. And then exhale, letting go. And let that wave of release with that exhale float all the way down to the soles of your feet here, all the way down to the tips of your fingers, into the shoulders. So every last little bit of you is firmly planted on your mat here. As you continue to soften with each exhale. Breathe in awareness with each inhale. You're more than welcome to stay here and just continue to breathe in and breathe out as long as you would like. No rush, no need to get anywhere, no need to jump from point A to point B in any expedited manner, and just simply be here on your mat today. I thank you for your time and energy. Thank your mind, thank your body. No matter what it gave you, you are enough. It was enough. Please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit me a comment if you liked this yummy feel-good practice today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I love you.